All right, good evening, Leandro. Thanks for being here on time as always. Thanks for waiting as well. How are you? How do you feel today?
I'm good. How about you?
Great, that's good to know. I'm great as well. Thanks for asking, Leandro. Let's begin with today's class. All right, we're going to work with a new unit. And as always, I'm going to start with Pearson. Remember, we have to start a new unit today. That is going to be unit number 2. So again, if you have questions or you have comments about Pearson before going to the next part, as I'm assigning all the assignments and the quiz, please, you can let me know.
Yes, I have a question. I have activities from the 7th of January. And if I
Okay.
don't know if I made this or it's um it's a problem in the platform.
Perhaps it's from the previous course, as you have an account and in your account you have many courses. Perhaps that's from a previous course, right? Because remember, this course is only something that started the 20, let me check, the 27th. So you only should receive assignments that are from the 27 and and above. Okay, so 27 until 31st should be the first one. So you shouldn't have more assignments, Leandro. Just in case, here you always have a filter, and I think you can select the course, right? Be sure that you are selecting A9, and also be sure that you can see Model C. Okay, so
Okay.
you're only going to complete the assignments that say Model C.
Yeah,
All right.
it is the Model B.
Yes, so that's a previous course. All right,
Okay.
that was the A8. That finished, so you don't have to complete anything for a Model B or A8, only A9.
Okay.
All right, good. And just to verify, I believe that you still have until today. Yes,
Mhm.
so you still have until today, right? If you didn't finish some assignments or the quiz, you can do it today or actually tonight after the class. All right, so um, also I'm already going to assign unit number 2. And again, if you have more questions or doubts like that one, you can please let me know as I'm assigning this in front of you. So it's going to be,
No, I don't have question anymore.
okay, good. So let's just please keep a minute because I always want to do this in front of you so that you see the assignments. Okay, so there you go. These are the assignments. Again, everything, it is going to be until Thursday. Okay, Thursday the 2nd. So you have today, well, tonight, you have tomorrow, and you have Thursday, 11:59 p.m. And the 2 attempts as always, plus the model. There you go. And I'm also going to assign the quiz. And it's going to be the same. Okay, so it starts today until the 2nd once again. And you have 50 minutes. With that, we are done with Pearson. It means we can start directly with the next unit as well. If you have no questions about the previous lessons, then we can do it. All right. We worked with comparisons with as, right? You are as tall as your brother. She isn't as, or she doesn't run as fast as you. Or with nouns, right? You have as many friends as he does. Okay, so we work with that. Now we're going to work with something interesting. This can be complex, but really interesting. That are phrasal verbs. You use this a lot in English, but it's a little bit informal. Okay, it's good to use it in speaking, sometimes in writing, but it is something informal. I just want to go directly to the point because this can take some time, and we're going to also write ideas with this. So let's read please the definition for a phrasal verb.
Okay. Phrasal verbs are verbs that consist of a verb and a particle.
Good, very well. And down below you have like a very little example, right? Wake up, right? So to
Mhm.
wake up is a phrasal verb, right? Wake is the verb up is the particle, but they have a meaning together, right? You always say, I have to wake up. You don't say I have to wake, right? You have to say wake up, because that's a special meaning that it has when they are together. Now, that's a phrasal verb. It is a verb that has a particle. But now we're going to cover inseparable phrasal verbs. Let's keep reading, please.
Okay, an inseparable phrasal verb is a phrasal verb which does not allow an object to be placed between the verb and particle.
Okay, great. So in other words, very short, it means that the verb wake and the particle up cannot be separated. Okay, in that case, actually, that phrasal verb can be separated. But here in these phrasal verbs that you're going to learn in this lesson, you cannot separate those words. Okay, they are always going to be together. You cannot put anything in the middle of those words. All right. Now we're going to go directly to some examples. These are examples of phrasal verbs. We're not going to practice all of them, just the most important ones, and then you can perhaps take a look at the rest. This is going to be something important we're going to practice, and this one as well. All right. So come across is a phrasal verb. Come is the verb, across is the particle. Count on is a phrasal verb, count the verb, and on the particle, right? So let's read, please, Leandro, the meaning and the example for come across and for count on.
Okay, come across, meaning find accidentally. Example, while cleaning the house, I came across a check I had forgotten to deposit. Count on, meaning depend on, really on. Example, I am counting on you to send me the information by the end of the day. I need as soon as possible.
Great, thank you. So that's the meaning, okay? So anytime you say come across, it means find accidentally. All right, find accidentally. So how do you say this? Again, we're going to work in this way, and then we're going to take Spanish away. But how do you say this idea? Yo siempre, ya, encuentro accidentalmente dinero en mis bolsillos. All right, and I'm going to say bolsillos, that word in the chat. Okay, that's the word in the chat. How do you say that? Yo siempre encuentro accidentalmente dinero en mis bolsillos.
I ever, it's correct.
No, remember the word.
I always
Yes,
find
correct.
accidentally money in my pockets.
Okay, it is good. Now, don't use find accidentally. Now you have to use come across. Let's do the same, please.
Yeah. Yes. I. What is the word?
Always?
I always come across money in my pockets.
Yeah, correct. So come across means to find accidentally. All right, and this is common. You're not going to say to find accidentally. You can say that, but this is going to be the phrasal verb. All right, and as you can see, this is a verb, so you can conjugate that in present, in past, in future, right? In the example, it is in past. All right, it is in past. Now, it's not common to use it in future, but imagine that you are going to predict something, right? You are going to predict the future. So one more example. How do you say yo me encontré accidentalmente in how can you say lo que perdí? Okay, how do you say that? Yo me encontré accidentalmente lo que perdí.
I will come across the thing I forgot.
Okay, close. Close. Forgot is going to be like olvidar. But if you want to say perder, it's going to be only lost. The thing I lost or what I lost, you can say. Lo que perdí, what I lost. Okay, good. Very good. It's great. I will come across what I lost or the thing I lost. It's good. Perfect. Now, count on is the same. It can be present, it can be past, it can be future, right? You can say, I always count on you, right? I always count on you. Or like here, this is present continuous. Right now, I'm counting on you, right? So simple present, present continuous. It can be past continuous. I was counting on you and you didn't do it, right? Or simple past, I counted on you and you failed, right? Or future, I will count on you, or I am going to count on you, right? So all these phrasal verbs can be conjugated in present, past, future, but some of them have a specific meaning and it's weird sometimes to use it in some tenses, okay? But that's going to be your decision. So let's try to practice. No, not yet, actually. Not yet. We're going to have just one practice that is going to be a more structured paragraph, and you're going to use these words, okay? But now let's try to only see the meaning and only practicing in speaking, and then we go for the writing practice. So give me, please, before going to the next part, one example using count on and try to use it in past, in simple past. So what example can you give me?
Okay. I was counting on in my partners from the work.
Good. And there directly you have to say you don't need another preposition, only I was counting on my partners, right? You don't
On
say
my
in again.
partners.
Good.
Okay.
I was counting on my partners, right, to do something, right? Good. Now, one more. That is good, but that is the like past continuous, right? I was counting on you. Now, how can you give me one more sentence, but this time in simple past? In simple past, remember, is like yo contaba contigo or yo conté contigo, right? How do you say that? How do you give me another example in simple past?
I counted on. I counted on. Um, I counted on my battery cell phone.
Okay, yes, it is correct. I counted on my battery cell phone or on my battery, right? But it didn't work, right? Or it turned off. And well, your plans were right, not what you wanted to be. So good. That's great. Those are good examples. Let's keep going. We have more words. Look, sometimes like this one, we're going to work with this. It can have more than one particle. This has two particles. And you always, 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 always have to use the two particles here. Okay, so get rid of, they have to be together. Then not this one, look after. This is useful. Look forward to. Okay, so three in this case. So let's do the same, please, Leandro. Let's read the phrasal verb plus the meaning and the examples.
Okay. Get rid of, meaning eliminate, throw away. Example, we have rats in the house. We need to call the exterminator to get rid of them. And look after, meaning take care of. Example, I can't go out tonight because I'm looking after my sister's children. And look forward to, meaning feel happy, excited about something in the future. Example, I'm really looking forward to our family vacation in Florida. It's going to be awesome.
Great, thank you very much, right? So the same idea. This can be present, past, future, present, past, future, okay? So get rid of means to eliminate, right? So you can say, I will get rid of this book because I don't use it, right? I will get rid of this book because I don't use it. But working with you, let's see how you work with this verb. How do you say this in past? How do you say yo me voy a deshacer? All right. No, actually, in past first, yo me deshice. All right. Yo me deshice the, what could it be? Let me think of something. Okay, de mi ropa porque no la usaba. Okay, how do you say that? Yo me deshice de mi ropa
Mm,
porque no la usaba.
I got rid of my clothes because I didn't use them.
Okay, very well. Yes, it's a very, very, very good way to say that one. I think it's the perfect one. Correct. I got rid of my clothes, right? Or my clothing. Both are correct. Clothes or clothing because I didn't use them. Great. Or even you can talk about routine, right? And you can say because I didn't used to wear them, you can say, if you want to put emphasis on the idea of routine, but that's an alternative. Okay, so it's perfect. What about future? Give me one idea, please, with get rid of, but in future, Leandro.
I will get rid of um, my keyboard because it um, didn't works.
Okay, good, but I think that has to be present, right? So it's going to be because it doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Okay.
Exactly, right? Because if you say didn't, it's going to be past, and then works is only for present.
Okay.
Right? So good, good. I will get rid of my keyword because it doesn't work. That's great. Now let's go to look after. Look after means take care of, right? You can look after people mainly, or you can look after things as well, right? For example, a cell phone, right? Whatever. So the same idea. First past, okay? I want to work with past to practice the verbs in past. So how can you give me an idea in past, in simple past, Leandro, using look after?
I look after
That is close, but remember, as it is past, instead of I look after.
past. I looked
Correct,
after.
perfect.
I looked after my dog.
Yes, I looked after my dog, right? Or you can add, always when you use simple past, it's a good idea to use a time reference, right? So it's a good idea to say when. So you can say, I looked after my dog yesterday, or 2 hours ago, or last week, right? Or 2 days ago, or something like that, right? But it's good. Now, what about the same? In future, but not future with will, how do you say, yo voy a cuidar la casa de mi amigo? How do you say that?
I'm going to looking after the house of my friend.
Okay, close, close. Just one thing is missing, or it's not correct, is looking. As you have the rule for be going to is be going to plus the verb in the base form. So it means you don't say looking, you're going to say only look. So it's going to be I'm going to look after. So let's repeat one more time, please, with that correction.
I'm going look after.
To look after. I am going to look after.
I'm going to look after the. I'm going to look after my friend's house.
Perfect. Great. That's way better, right? My friend's house. It's better than saying the house of my friend, right? So you did it great. It's way better. Very good. I am going to look after my friend's house, right? So remember that rule. Anytime you use future with be going to, voy a, vas a, is always going to be I am going to plus the verb in the base verb. Okay, I'm going to go, I am going to travel, to look, to take, to run, and so on and so forth, right? Now, the next one actually is one exception, because in look forward to is not for infinitive, to is a preposition. And here you have to use ing. For example, if you want to say, yo estoy emocionado de conocerte, all right, how do you say that? Yo estoy emocionado de conocerte.
I look forward to meet you.
Close, but in this case, remember, In going to, I am going to is infinitive. So infinitive is to plus the base verb. But in this case, again, this is the only thing you have to memorize. To is a preposition. And as to in this case is a preposition and not infinitive, in this case you have to use ing. Okay, so
Okay.
instead of meet, is going to be meeting you. I
Meeting
am,
you.
or I look after to meeting you, or I'm looking forward, sorry, to meeting you, right? Because it's going to be present, all right? But what about past? How can you give me an idea about past using look forward to?
Um, okay. I looked forward to um my birthday party.
Yes, that is perfect. That is a good example. I looked forward to my birthday party, or even in past continuous, right? I was looking forward to my birthday party. Any of those is good. Now, this is not common in future, all right? It is not common to use it in future. So one more example, please, but in present.
Okay. I look forward um to travel to the United States.
Okay, close. Just one detail. Remember, as to is preposition,
Ah,
after the preposition, ing. So one more time, please, with that one.
okay. I look forward to traveling to the United States.
Very well, good. So look, this is only going to happen in very few cases, all right? Because in most of the cases, when you see to, it's part of infinitive, right? And infinitive is to plus base form. So to go, to eat, to travel, okay? So that's like 90% of the time. But 10% of the time, to is not going to be infinitive, it's going to be a preposition. And we have to follow the rule that says that after all prepositions, we use a gerund. Okay? And look forward to is one of those exceptions. All right? So we're going to use to as a preposition. But it's good. There you go. Let's keep going. We're going to see some more, and then we're going to write something with them. Now, here we have some interesting phrasal verbs. This is very interesting and very useful. Run into as well, but this works with people. And take after. This can be a little bit confusing, but it's interesting. So let's read those three, please.
Okay. But put up with, meaning tolerate something, someone unpleasant. Example, one of my colleagues is not very nice, but we put up with him because he does excellent work. He does excellent work. Run into, meaning meet unexpectedly. Unexpectedly. Example, I ran into my ex-boyfriend at the supermarket. That was an unpleasant surprise. And take after, meaning resemble in looks or personality. Example, she's very friendly and extroverted. She takes after her mother.
Good. There you go. So this is interesting again. So put up with, right? To put up with something or someone means to tolerate, right? But to tolerate something that you don't like, that it's unpleasant for you, right? So a person or a thing. Run into is the same as come across, right? But you come across something and you run into someone, right? And it's by accident, it's not planned. And take after is to have similarities with a person, okay, physically or in terms of personality. So let's practice only one example for each, please. What example can you give me for put up with? And it has to be, again, with a context to understand that you tolerate that person or that thing. So what do you say? Put up with.
Mm, um, my teacher from the university, and it's very how do you say, um uh, I don't find the word.
Perhaps you can say, if it's something negative, the most common word is rude, for example, rude, that is like grosero or something like that. Or you can say, I don't know, give me the description for what word you want to use.
Estricto. This is
Okay,
the word.
very well. So it's very, very similar, strict. Okay, very
Strict.
strict.
Okay. My teacher from the university is very strict, but I put up with him because I need to pass the, how do you say, materia?
The
Matter,
subject,
the subject.
subject.
Okay.
Okay, good. It is correct. In this one, remember, put you usually the u is like right? For example, here up. But in this case, this u is going to be just a little bit like u, like the Spanish u. So it's better if you say like put up with. It's not
Put up
u, but
with.
it's more like u. Put
Okay.
up with. Great.
Put up with.
So my professor, right? It's better instead of teacher, right? Professor, because
Mhm.
professors work at university, right? So
Okay.
good. My professor at university, right, or at my university is very strict, but I have to put up with him because I need to pass the subject, right? Great. That's one. One with run into, please. And remember, this is meet unexpectedly. It means it was not planned, and it's very common to use it in past like this. So also you can try to use it in past. So what about run into? What do you say?
Okay. Um, I ran into mm, into my colleague that how do you say deber? Debt?
No, it's going to be, you're talking about that you have to give him something because he
Mm-hmm.
gave you something right before. So it's to own, to owe.
Own.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm going to write it in the chat. It's
Oh.
OWE. Oh.
Okay. I ran into my friend that I owe money.
Uh-huh. Yes, correct. And even you can say, um, to be more formal, you can say to whom I owe money. It's like a quien,
Okay.
to whom, and it's going to be with H, okay, like this. To whom I owe money. Or some money, it's better if you say some money because it's uncountable.
Some
So
money.
it is in the chat. Okay, so one more time, please. Let's repeat one more time with that idea in the chat.
Okay. I ran into my friend that I to no
Yeah, and to whom is going to
to
replace
whom?
that. You don't say
Okay.
that. You say directly, I ran. Remember, if you say run, is you. So if you want to say a, you say ran. I
Ren.
ran into my friend to
Mhm.
whom I owe some money.
Okay. I ran into my friend to whom I owe some money.
Very well. And it's going to
Okay.
be with a comma, but we're going to see that later on. Great. So again, remember the difference. If you say run, that's present, you. And if you say ran, that's past, a. Right? So
Okay.
run,
Ran
ran, run.
and ran. Okay.
Right, exactly. Good. And now take after, please. Be careful with this. Take after means parecerse. Okay, just that. But it includes the idea of parecerse a. So don't add a preposition. If you want to say,
Mhm.
for example, yo me parezco a mi papá, you only say, I take after my father. Okay, that's it. I take after my father. So
Okay.
give me please an example, but try to explain why you believe that you take after someone. So what example can you give?
Okay. My, My nephew is my nephew takes after her mother because he has the same nose.
Yes, it is good. Very well. Only one little detail. If it's nephew, it's masculine. So instead of her, it's going to be his, right? So my
Okay,
nephew takes after his mother
his.
because he has the same nose, right? Good.
Okay.
It is perfect. All right, good. So those are three more phrasal verbs. We have just some more. No, actually, yes, we're finishing here. Here, we are only going to read one. Okay, this one, please. Turn into.
Okay, turn into, meaning become. Example, the caterpillar turned into a butterfly.
Now, very simple. Here, become writing means to convert, that you are one thing and you convert to a different thing, right? You become something different. All right, so I'm just going to give you here a free way to do it. So what example can you give me with turn into, that? Anything that comes to your mind?
Okay. The student turned into a professional.
Oh, great. It is great. Yes, a good example. The student turned, right, with ed, turned
Turned.
into
Okay.
a professional. Great. So with that, we are ready to work with the first exercise, that is going to be a writing exercise, because we have some extra phrasal verbs that we're going to cover, but after this practice. Now, I need you to do the following, Leandro. You have access to the platform, right? You're here with me. Yes, you are. So go to Google Classroom, please. Go to classwork. We are in unit 2. Okay, so go to classwork. I'm going to sign it for you. So first go to classwork, then go down until unit 2. And when you are in unit 2, you have to open, this is the first lesson. Yes, the first lesson. And open this presentation. Okay, why? Because you are going to have access to this document, and you're going to write examples with these phrasal verbs. And more than examples, you're going to write, again, a paragraph or more than one paragraph. All right, but you're going to use in this paragraph that you're going to write at least two, or actually, let me see. I'm going to go back. So you have one over there, two over here, 4. Okay, you're going to use at least 4 phrasal verbs. Okay, you can use one from the first chart, one from this chart. Okay, so here you can use come across or count on. Okay, one of those two. Here you can use get rid of, look after, or look forward to, right? One of those 3. Here you can use put up with, run into, take after, one of those 3. And here you're going to use turn into. Okay, so 4 phrasal verbs in total. They can be in present, they can be in past, they can be in future. It's up to you, but the paragraph needs to have a sense, right? There has to be a connection between the ideas that you are showing on that paragraph. All right, so I don't know if you have any questions before I give you the time to do it, Leandro. Let me know, please.
No, I don't have questions.
Good. Also, to write, please, this time I'm going to make you do it. I'm going to do it also, but to go to the document, you can go to Unit 1 and you can open this one that says Google Classwork, Google Docs. Right? You open that and you are going to go to our document. Okay, if you find it, that's good. If not, just in case, I'm also sharing the screen, or sorry, the link with you. Okay, so the link is in the chat just in case.
Okay.
And there you go. Good. All right, so let's do it, please. As it's one paragraph and more, remember you need a minimum of 6 complete ideas in this case. Try to use, I don't know if it's here, try to use the words that I showed you before. I don't know if you remember, like first or besides, also, however, all right? Try to use connectors like that. The ones you remember are going to be okay. So let's have please 6 minutes, and in 6 minutes we check your paragraph, please.
Okay.
All right, so we have 6 minutes. We're going to try to see how you're doing. And according to that, well, I'm going to tell you if we need more time or we check that part. But let me see, please, how we're doing so far to continue. Okay, I think it's here. Good. I think you're doing great. Finish that last part, please. Or finish the last details and we check, please.
Okay. Okay, I finished.
All right, so let's take a look at that. First, as always, please, we're going to read what you have. So let's read everything, please.
Okay. Today I had one of the worst days of my life. First, in the morning, I came across with my ex-girlfriend's parents in the public transport. That was so strange. After that, I need to change my old cell phone, but it was not possible. Coming to my house, I saw that was strange people in the living room. Um, they are not very nice, so I had to put uh, put up with them. Finally, my work turned into the thing that won't let me sleep all night.
Thank you very much, Leandro. So let's take a look. In general, I think, again, it's a very good structure. What you're expressing, everything is good. Few details, again, for punctuation and some words that we're going to change. All right?
Mhm.
So remember, anytime you start with something that is not your subject, you're going to need a comma, right? So today, comma, I had one of the worst days of my life. Good, period. Perfect. Okay, that's great. You have the end of the idea with period. Very good. Now, first is also introductory phrase. Okay, so it's not your subject. So first, comma, in the morning, comma. Why? Because first is an introductory phrase. In the morning is time, right? Your subject is I, right? So you have to use the subject after those commas, okay? Anytime you have anything that is not your subject, comma. Now, remember something. Come across is mainly for things, and run into is for people, all right? Even if you say here come across, you don't say come across with. That's like Spanish, okay? So it's going to be only come across something. In this case, instead of come across, it's better to use what? Run into.
Run
Right?
into.
Exactly. And as it is in past in this case, it's going to be ran into my ex-girlfriend's parents, right? There you go. Good. So here I'm going to mark it like this, the ones that are phrasal verbs. Okay, so I ran into my ex-girlfriend's parents, and here just the preposition, all right, is going to be on the public transport. Good. So this is like an extra comment, or what is the meaning when you say this? And give me a second, okay? Transport. Here, that was so strange. So it's like a comment about that, right? Fue extraño, right?
Yes.
The fact that you found them over there. Okay, so found it on the public transportation. Now, as that is another idea, it has to be with semicolon, right? And why? Because it's another complete idea, right? That was so strange. As you are using here semicolon, then here it's better to use period, right? In order not to have that. So after that, capital letter, and remember, if it's not the subject, you need a comma, right? So after that comma, I needed to change my old cell phone. Perfect. But this is good, a comma here, that's perfect. But the word but doesn't need a comma after that. So only one comma. The comma is before and not afterwards. All right, it's there. But it was not possible. You only do that with connectors like however, right? However needs a comma after that. But the word but doesn't. So, but it was not possible. Good. Coming to my house, right? Or you can say coming back to my house, right? In order to make it better. Coming back to my house, right? Like returning to my house. I saw that here, people in the living room. So this has to be in a different way because this is like Spanish. So you're going to say, I saw that there were, habían, all right, strange people. So I saw that there were, and were because people is a plural. Example, it's like habían personas extrañas, right, in the living room. That's a complete idea, right? I subject saw the verb complement. So here you cannot use a comma, you have to use at least semicolon or period, right? So semicolon, they are not very nice. And this is one idea. They are not very nice. So is like but, okay? So is in the same category as but and in the same category as and. So you have to use a comma before. Exactly. Only if you have two complete ideas, okay? And here you have two complete ideas, right? They are not very nice, complete idea. I had to put up with complete idea. So this is good. And this is very well done. So I had to put up with, this is another phrasal verb, with them. That's perfect. Then semicolon, very good. Finally, right, it's not the subject, so you need a comma, right? So finally, comma, my work turn, this is present, right? But I believe here you need a past, right? Also, if you say this in present is incorrect because you need to say turns, right? But it's routine. But in this case, you're not talking about routine, you're talking about something that happened. So past. Exactly. So turned into the thing that won't let me sleep all night. Okay, good. Now let me see. I think we are missing just one phrasal verb. We have one, right? We have two, three. I don't know if you used another one, or perhaps we're missing just one phrasal verb, right? We needed four. You don't have, it's good. Well, let's do it by speaking, okay? One more. But I don't know if you have any questions. Again, it's great. Just be careful with the commas and with the conjugation and those little words over there, right? And here, instead of that, we're going to follow that example on public transportation, right? Or even if you want to be more precise, because that's too general, you can simply say on the bus or on the vehicle that you found, right? On the bus, and that's going to be more precise. And in that case, you don't need something too general. All right, so what do you say? Do you have any questions about these little details?
No, I don't have questions.
Good. So then we only need, you have run into, put up with, and turn into. So you are missing one from this. So let's try to work one more time with come across. Remember, come across is going to be mainly for things. So what example can you give me with come across?
Okay. Coming back to my house, I come across with
And then remember, if you say with, it's going to be incorrect. You don't need a preposition. You directly
okay.
say the object. I came across,
Okay, I come
and you mention the
across
object.
I came across poop from my dog in the, how do you say alfombra?
Rack, in the rack.
Rack, in the
It's
rack.
going to be in the chat. R-U-N-G, rack. Okay, and it's going to be on the rack, right? Because it's above, on the rack. Good,
Okay.
good, and that's correct, right? Remember, it's because in Spanish we need the preposition with, right? Me encontré con. But in English, no, you don't say con. You only say me encontré esto. Just directly the thing, right? So it's good. I came across some poop, right? Or poop, as you said, right, from my dogs on the rack. That's good. So I don't know if you have questions about this part. We only have one more thing to cover, but this is only going to be reading and speaking a little bit in these last minutes. So do you have any questions before going to this last part?
No, I don't have questions.
All right. So let's reinforce. All right. Let's read this slide, please,
Leandro. Reinforcement. Use. Phrasal verbs consist of a verb and one or more prepositions. They are often used, especially in informal and spoken English. The meaning of phrasal verbs is often completely different from the meaning of the verb alone.
Great, right? So we have to be careful, thank you very much, because the meaning can be very different, right? For example, if you say go, go means movement, right? To move to a certain place. But if you say go over means review, means repasar, right? So the meaning between go and go over is very different, right? Very different. Or turn. Turn means, right, you say turn left, turn right, right, is to make a movement to a certain place, also turn. But if you say turn down, it can mean rechazar, right, reject. So turn and turn down are very different, right? So that's what they are telling you here. You have to be careful because the meaning of phrasal verbs can be different. So to memorize some extra phrasal verbs and to practice a little bit, let's read not all of them because they are a lot. You know, get up. Get up is very common. Take off, it's also common, but you are going to use it. Get on, break down. This is interesting. And I believe that one, no, even this one, that's also very interesting. So let's read those three, please, Leandro. These are phrasal verbs that don't use an object. Okay, so you never place anything here in the middle. Over here as well, you never place anything here, and the same down below. So let's read those three, please.
Okay. Take off, leave the ground, and the plane took off on time. Break down, stop working for vehicles. Our car broke down on the way from Scotland, and make up, become friends again after an argument. The kids often fight, but they always make up afterwards.
Very well, thank you. Just one correction in pronunciation. This word, please, we're going to repeat. And this is going to be like E, so it's going to be vehicles.
Vehicles. Okay.
Vehicles, exactly.
Vehicles.
Good. So please pick one and just give me one example. Okay, it's up to you. It can be one with take off, or one with breakdown, or one with makeup. Okay, only one example, please. Which one do you want to use?
Okay. The motorcycle broke down in the career.
Okay, in that one, you want to say la carrera?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be
racing.
race.
Race.
Race. Exactly. Race is like the big thing. Racing
Yes.
is like the action, right? Good. Very well. The motorcycle broke down, right? during the race or in the race. It can
In
be.
the race.
Very well. Good. Let's go to the next part. Again, that's mainly this is for you to practice when you have the time, but we're practicing this with me to finish the class. Here, this is very useful. Okay, you have to know how to use these two. You know that one we practice C2. Look into, no, look after. This is, no, sorry, it's C2. This is very interesting. And that's it, those two. Let's read those two, please.
Get on, get off something. Exit transport. Get off the bus at the next stop. Sit to something. Do, arrange, prepare, organize. Don't worry about dinner. I will see to it.
Great, right? This is also sometimes confusing, but when you see to something, it means that you're going to plan or organize something, right? You can see
Okay.
to a party. It means that you're going to organize or prepare the party, right? So again, just one example, please. You decide, get on, get off, or see to. What example can you give? Just
Okay.
one.
I'm going to see to the picnic.
Okay, yes, that is correct. It means again, this one, arrange, prepare, organize the picnic. Correct. Very well. Again, we're still working with phrasal verbs that always work together, right? But they need an object, right? In this case, they need an object. Good. The next one, again, I'm trying to select the ones that are very useful or interesting. This one we know already. Get on with. This is also something interesting. And put up with something we know. So those two, please.
Okay. Look up to someone. Respect someone. It look up to my teachers. Get on with someone. Be good friends with someone. I don't get on with Karen.
Great, right? Very simple. Look up to also it's a synonym of admire, right? If you admire a person, for example, it can be a very famous person, you say look up to, right? Because you are following his or her steps. And get on with, it means to have a good relationship, right? In this case, a friendship. All right. So once again, just one example, please. You pick look up to or get on with.
Okay. I look up to Brendan Fraser.
Good. Just to compliment, give the reason. Why?
Okay.
Why do you say that you look up to that person, Brendan Fraser?
Because he's a great and great actor.
Good. As you say, great first is going to be a, right? A great actor.
A great actor.
Very well. Good. That's correct. It's the same again as I admire or I respect that person. So that's it. Let me see if we have more. I believe that with this we are closing because those are 3 rules. Yes. And those are extra tips to finish, please, today. Let's read those 2 and we finish.
Okay, phrasal verbs are verbs, so you have to conjugate them in present, past, or future. Example, I am getting rid of this old notebook. I got rid of this old notebook. I have to gotten rid of this old book. I will get rid of this old notebook. Phrasal verbs are informal. Use them to speak and to understand native English speakers. If you are going to write a very formal letter, don't use too many phrasal verbs.
Great. Very good. Thank you very much. Again, just this word, as this is a, it's going to become a, so it's going to be native.
Native.
Native. Great. Okay, so those are recommendations. Remember, you can conjugate phrasal verbs in any tense. You have to be careful, but it can be present, past, future, any tense you want, right? And again, it's informal. So for example, in a test, in an international test, you can use phrasal verbs, but don't use phrasal verbs all the time. You have more formal words to do it. All right, and that's the only recommendation. So with that, we're finishing today, Leandro. I don't know if you have questions before, well, concluding with the class. As always, you have, if you want, this is an interesting exam about phrasal verbs. that you can take it, that's optional, and more, well, links to practice.
Okay.
All right. So what do you say? Any questions, comments before finishing?
And I don't have questions. Thank you.
All right. No, you're welcome. So as always, please, you might be able to see this survey. Answer that, and that's it. Have a good night. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next class.
See you tomorrow. Good night.
Bye bye. Good night.
Bye.